Hello, hello, hello. Self-worth. Really interesting concept. Really interesting space, state, emotion, thought process, feeling. Not too sure how to describe it, but it's something that we all experience, and sometimes we have a lack of self-worth. So I had this beautiful experience last night with the Ripple Effect team, and we had 14 guys sitting in a room talking about this concept of self-worth and what it means to them when they had a lack of self-worth, and then also how they then were able to find self-worth. And it was really interesting, the variance within the conversations. But there was a theme that was coming through, and that theme was based upon this externalization that I place my self-worth in offering value to others. So this perception of my self-worth is based upon what it is that I can do for others, or how I can please others in a sense, or how others then validate me. That then gives me this sense of self-worth. And what we find is that when we externalize our value, then we fall prey to others, other selves, externalization, external circumstances, outcomes, achievements even as well too. So what we then found was that when you become aware of where do I attribute my self-worth, is it an externalization or is it an internalization, then I can then become more aware of, well, how do I feed my self-worth? How do I fill my cup? How do I fill my bucket of self-worth? And what we found from this conversation was this concept that I need to fill my cup first. I need to do things that, and as one of the members said, give me energy. What is it that gives you energy? And I thought that was a beautiful question. And for him, it was he does yoga. And when he does yoga, it gives him this energy. And so you notice that it's about him doing that for him. It's not about, oh, when I go and do things for others, that fills me up. You go, okay, but you're still getting caught up in others. Now, certainly not saying go out and not do anything for others, but what I am saying here is that, and what we were finding was that, you need to, in a sense, be selfish, but let's shift that word to self-love. I need to fill my bucket. I need to do things for me, whether it's going mountain bike riding, whether it's sitting down and watching Netflix and watching a film that has interest for you, whether it's reading a book, whether it's catching up with your mates and having conversations. But even though that's with others, it's about you being able to speak your truth, And so for me, I love having deep esoteric conversations with people, and I get to choose the people that I have these conversations with, and that fills my cup because I get to express that part of me. I love riding my bike. I love training for triathlon. I love watching particular YouTube videos on understanding self, that sort of stuff. That fills me. What is it that then fills you, for you, And this is a really interesting question, because for some people, most of their lives, it's all been about others and not necessarily about self. So what we found last night through this conversation was that to get in touch with what your self-worth is, you really need to then start to look at worth as in value, and self-value. How do I value self? Okay? And sometimes we might need to be selfish or self-love and do things that feed us, and try not to get caught up in constantly doing things that feed others, in the hope that they will then validate us, so then we can then feel good about ourselves, and that's where my self-worth is then derived. The other concept around this is that when I have a lack of self-worth, because I'm so externalizing my worth and my value, is that I think that I am the oracle of other people's happiness. I am the receptacle of other people's happiness, and ultimately if I don't make people happy, then I am not worthy of making them happy, and as a result of that, then I am not worthy. I have a lack of self-worth because I haven't been able to make you happy. And so flipping that is that, I'm responsible for my own happiness, you are responsible for your own happiness, and it's my job to make myself happy. Okay? I really need to know what that is. And while I'm working out what that is, and while I'm experiencing that within myself, then I can do some stuff that will hopefully promote happiness within you, but it's not my job. Okay? Your happiness relies within you. So really, really interesting conversations. Beautiful to be in that space with these guys. And, it's I would encourage men, humans, everybody, to be having these conversations that are related to self-worth, forgiveness, self-responsibility, perception, intimacy, vulnerability, confidence, all of these things that we're actually discussing through the ripple effect. And I'd just like to thank the guys who attended the meeting last night, because these are the types of conversations that are arising, and we're starting to notice a shift within men's perceptions, men's conversations, and the language that men are using as well. Cool. Thank you. Bye-bye.